Guys, it's time for this Bey here, which is really cool. Death Quetzalcoatl 125 RDF. One of the legendary Beys with some of the most beautiful designs in the franchise, honestly. This Bey here has a lot of awesome details, and I want to go over each one of them with you. While zooming in here so we can take a closer look at the box, we can see here the design of this Bey already. But on the lower part, we have here the blader who owns it, which is Chi-Chi, one of the top 10 bladers in Dario, who is actually a pretty cool character, by the way. He's basically that typical character who... Do you have a Beyblade? Are you strong? I want to face you. It doesn't matter if you're good or evil. If you're strong, I want to face you. He even reminds you a bit of Goku, if you stop to analyze this type of character. But anyway, in a general context, Chi-Chi is a pretty solitary character. He's always lived there to protect the temple of the Aztecs from the Aztec region, where he grew up with this purpose. And he always wanted to have a friend there, since he spent so much time alone, protecting the temple. That's basically it. That's Chi-Chi's story. He's a character who is part of the group of the 10 legendary bladers. At the top, we have the Takara logo. Tomi, here it says that it's a Bey from the Forge system, spins to the right, and is of the balance type. Taking a look at the back, we have all the parts of our Bey, and here, it shows its two modes, right? The attack mode and the defense mode, which I'll be explaining to you. And here are our assembled parts, so let's go ahead and understand each one of them. Starting with our screw, our face bolt. Here we have a screw in a kind of dark yellow color. It's not gold, and it's not a very bright yellow either, right? It's kind of in between the two anyway. But what's really cool, man, is the design on our face bolt. Here we have the head of the Quetzalcoatl serpent, which really represents Aztec architecture and also the design of the wings. Since Quetzalcoatl is a serpent which has wings, so they brought the wings of the Quetzalcoatl here on the sides and also the face of the serpent. Honestly, it's one of the most beautiful face bolts with lots of tiny details that make it really cool. And when you look at the background of the face bolt, at the texture of this yellow, you can see it has engravings, right? Of Aztec writings, Aztec pyramids, Aztec structures. Anyway, it's really, really cool. For me, it's the best face bolt in terms of visual concept in the franchise. Right after that, we have our clear wheel here. Quetzalcoatl as well, where it's a clear wheel in a translucent yellow color. It's really beautiful, and man, just like the face bolt has a lot of details, our clear wheel does too. When we hold it up to the light like this, we can see a bit more, but it has this detail here on these two parts, upper and lower, as if they were the wings of the Quetzalcoatl serpent. I hadn't explained yet that Quetzalcoatl is a legendary serpent from Aztec mythology, where it has wings, the feathered serpent. By the way, Raikou from Pokemon is almost inspired by it, okay? There's a fun fact for you. And here, literally, we have engravings of Aztec constructions, which makes it look really beautiful. When we hold it up to the light, we can see a bit more of these details in the textures placed on the clear plastic, which gives it a beautiful and unique design, right? And these stickers that we put on later, they're also engravings of Aztec writings. Really cool, man. This one honestly is an incredibly beautiful clear reel. And as you can see, it has a very different weight distribution, right? In fact, the heaviest part is here in these two thicker sections, you see? So, it's not a very balanced clear reel, which is actually cool, especially considering what it's meant for, which I'll explain in just a moment. And for that, we have these two parts that make up our Bey, the metal frame and the core. Starting with our metal frame, from the fusion wheel, known as... This part of the metal frame is really cool because when we look at the top, you can see that these details here basically form the head of a snake. I don't know if you can notice it, but there are literally snake heads engraved on this part of the metal. And when we turn it over, we actually see the snake's scales, which is absolutely beautiful. With the core in hand, we see that it's a metal piece with weight distributed along the edge, meaning its weight is focused entirely on the outer edge, not the center. When we look at it from the side, it's really cool to see the design of Cobra Quetzalcoatl's wings. Look how beautiful this is, man. Honestly, it's really stunning to see the design of these wings engraved in the metal. Well, for us to switch between the two modes, you need to understand how to assemble it. For that, in attack mode, you need to have the metal frame with the snake heads facing up. And you can notice that our metal frame has 4 holes, right? In a cross shape here. So you can fit it into the core because the core has this feature too. All you have to do is fit it together like this and they'll match up perfectly. Just look at that. Fitted like this, you have the attack mode of our fusion wheel Death. When we look at it from the side, we can see a bit better how it fits together. Just look. And this here forms the crown of Quetzalcoatl because Quetzalcoatl, besides having wings and being a snake, also has a crown. So these holes, it has formed the crown of Quetzalcoatl and also the contact points of our fusion wheel Death. Now, to activate defense mode, you just have to flip this, leaving the scale side facing up instead of the snake's head. So we take the metal frame, turn it over, and fit it in the same way, in a cross pattern. All done. When you fit it like this, it's in defense mode. And we understand it better when we look from the side where the crowns end up closing and coupling with the wings. So it becomes completely rounded and obviously more defensive. And as I mentioned to you, it's a part where the weight is distributed outward and not centralized, which is really cool because it makes this be like a defensive wall. Right after that, we have our 125 track, which is a basic track, nothing special about it. In other words, it's not a Bey that has a Ford E-tip, which is a shame, but it's tracked. Here it is, in this cute ruby red color, a medium track, nothing special, but it's there. And now we've reached our last part, which is our RDF tip. A rather controversial tip actually, because it's supposed to be both a defense and attack tip at the same time. And often people can't even say if it's also a stamina tip. So I wouldn't bet my life on saying exactly what it is. I just know it's a tip that spins fast, but it also has a bit of defense and a bit of stamina. Anyway, all of this happens precisely because there's rubber in its center, but the way it's made isn't meant to be an attack tip to make it stop spinning quickly. So it has a bit of stamina because of its shape. When we look at it from the side, you can see that it's not 100% flat, even though it might seem like it is. And it has this rubber friction, which is actually a standard feature of attack tips because we're used to seeing attack tips with rubber, but not defense tips or stamina tips with rubber, for example. If it's more toward the center, it will obviously have more contact with this rubber tip part. Now, if it's closer to the edge of the arena, it will have more contact with the plastic part that protects the entire rubber tip, which would be this thicker plastic wall here, right? So it has 2 points of contact, depending, of course, on where it is in the arena, which is pretty cool. A somewhat controversial tip, but its concept, at least in theory, is to be both defensive and attack at the same time. All right, guys, let's go. Let's assemble our Death Quartz coach here. Shall we see it all put together, nice and neat? Well, I'm going to leave it in attack mode. So for that, we start here with our fusion wheel, and to set it up, in attack mode, we keep the serpent heads facing up, fitted onto our core. Well, once it's attached to the core, we can tell it's in attack mode because of the crowns shown here. For that, we'll take our clear wheel and fit it in here as usual. Once the clear wheel is in place, you turn it upside down. Take our track, fit it into the hexagonal part, got it? Flip it back over, let's grab our screw, give it a gentle twist by hand, and finish tightening with the little wrench, but don't over tighten so you don't break the screw. And finally, our tip, also locking it in place with the wrench. Now it's ready, guys. This here is the Death Quartz Coach 125 RDF, a balance type Bey. It has several interesting features, and it's the most detailed and beautiful Bey because of this concept it presents here. Man, just look at these details. How gorgeous is that, right? Dude, they really went all out in bringing the Aztec culture of the legendary Quetzalcoatl serpent into every part of this. No metal frame, no core, no clear wheel, no facebolt, no background. Man, even the facebolt, it's crazy, dude. The level of detail this Bey has makes it one of the most well-crafted Beys in terms of design. Seriously, it's really beautiful. And when you look at it from the side, man, with these layers, the wings, even forming the center of the crown. Right here in the middle. Wow, it's so cool. This Bey really is very beautiful. However, the real shame about this Bey is the fact that it doesn't have a 4D tip. I always get sad about that because, come on, it deserved one, right? But honestly, this tip is unique. Only it has the RDF, but it's a very peculiar tip because it's meant to be a defense tip with rubber to have an attack pattern, you know? It's kind of confusing, but at the same time, it also has the concept of stamina in it. But no one really knows what it is. For many people, it's more attack than stamina because it doesn't have much stamina. I don't know, man. We'll understand this better during the battles because I'm going to test both modes, defense and attack, so we can see what the legendary serpent of Aztec mythology is like. Shall we? I want to ask you to leave a like and subscribe down below because that really helps us keep making these videos. And most importantly, become a member, because by becoming a member, you help bring in amazing products like this one, and above all, support the quality of these videos that you all love so much. But anyway, let's get to it, do the battle tests, and see the legendary serpent Quetzalcoatl in action. Let's go. Alright, let's start our battle test here with our Death Quetzalcoatl in attack mode. And to begin, I want to test it right away against... Besides Big Bang Pegasus, in its Omen Direction mode, which is my favorite. So let's see how it does. Tap Quetzalcoatl in attack mode versus Big Bang Pegasus in Omen Direction. Let's go. Alright, I'm going to launch Quetzalcoatl here in a slightly more centered way. So I'm actually going to launch it a bit weaker than usual because it needs a lot of stamina due to its spin. So I'll launch it here, and now Pegasus at an angle. Okay. Both Beys. Honestly, I'm not really sure about Quetzalcoatl because depending on how you launch it and the power you use, it'll spin like crazy and lose stamina, man. But look at that. Its movement patterns are really interesting, right? Because of its tip. Look, Pegasus activated the panel drive, huh? Man, it's really cool when they activate that. Now, it has activated another point of contact that the tip of the Quetzalcoatl allows, which makes it spin as if it were an attack bait. Look there. And unfortunately, depending on the situation, he may lose resistance, as he has been losing. Look, calm down, he's deviating. Wow, he's holding on, he's holding on. That wasn't enough. But you saw how it works, right? The Quetzalcoatl, it was the center more. Did you see how it works? The Quetzalcoatl had an initial movement pattern, the way I launched it, more contained than usual. Then it touched the arena, showing that pattern because of the plastic part it has here, right? Crazy. Victory. My God, that was good, man. Look, let's see how the Quetzalcoatl does here against Flash Sagittario in stamina mode. Shall we? Let's launch Flash Sagittario. Straight. And the Quetzalcoatl, a bit more contained so it doesn't lose stamina. Okay? It's hitting from below on Sagittario. But its track is managing to absorb it. But depending on where it gets hit, it's going to get destabilized. It activated. It picked up the more aggressive movement pattern of its tip. Look at that. Look at that. And that's a bad spot, man. And depending on that, it's going to lose a lot of stamina. And straight to a loss, right? Which means from here, it's straight to Vasco, guys. Here, it's already going to Vasco. It's really hard for the fourth coach to win when it gets like this. Look at that. Told you, didn't I? But I don't know, depending on it, man. Depending, it could still win. Could it? In terms of stamina, this tip is better. Okay. Both spinning there. Fourth coach is being a thorn in the side. It's trying, but it's not going to make it. Resistance, this saying is better. There is no way. Look. Guerrero, just one palm, right? The guy was a warrior, huh? He tried. Oh, I want to see how our Penguillion will be here against Quetzalcoatl in attack mode and Penguillion also in attack mode. This battle between the two is going to be pretty brutal. Let's go. Well, let's launch Leone first and Quetzalcoatl a bit more restrained. Okay, Quetzalcoatl already came in strong. Wow, it went crazy, it had gone crazy, but now it's back to its usual movement pattern, more about endurance now. Man, that tip of his is a real wild card, isn't it? Quetzalcoatl, man, look at that. It spun like a god there after it lost all its stamina, man. What was that about? Seriously, what was that about, man? This Bey is really hard to launch, honestly. Well, guys, let's do some tests here with Quetzalcoatl against the god of stamina, Pantone Aurel. But I'm going to start by testing Pantone Aurel in attack mode, stamina versus attack, against Quetzalcoatl's attack mode as well. Let's go. There's no reason not to launch Pantone first, Aurel first, because you guys already know why. Pantone Aurel first, and now Quetzalcoatl a bit more restrained. Quetzalcoatl came in strong right away against Pantone Aurel. It's hitting well with its crowns. Honestly, this Fijian Will of his in attack mode is pretty interesting, man. It's not bad at all. It's actually good. The way the crowns engage gives a nice impact, man. But in a stamina team, this tip is very, very, very complicated, man. It's hard for me to say if it's good or bad. Because, look, it always stops before the opponents, man. It seems like it doesn't have the necessary power because of the tip to be aggressive, and the Fijian Will doesn't allow for that. And the tip drains way too much of its energy, man. Victory goes to Phantom Warrior. All right, let's test Death Quetzalcoatl in defense mode now against Flash Sagittario in attack mode. Let's go. I'm going to launch Flash Sagittario first. And now Quetzalcoatl. Wow, it already activated that crazy pattern of its... Look at that. Damn, look at this, bro. It's spinning really fast. Guys, what is this? What is this? And look, I didn't even spin it to activate that pattern. I didn't spin it at an angle, didn't spin it hard. Man, you know, family. Is it not going to stop doing that? Is it just going to keep doing that? Spinning like crazy, like a bullet? Damn. Guys, is that the secret of Cuatro Secondes? Just spinning like that? Wow. Sagittario is already starting to lose stamina. Look at that, spinning like crazy, like a bullet. No way it's going to beat Sagittario like that, man. Is that the secret to winning?
Almost.
4x4, hang in there, hang in there.
Hold on, 4x4.
Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Just a little more, come on. Make history, make history, make history. It won. Damn, I wasn't betting on it, man. I wasn't betting on it. It won this one, man. Wow, what a crazy victory. Victory for the Mayan Serpent. Simply 4x4. Now let's test Fling Leon in defense mode against the 4x4 in defense mode. Let's see which one is better in these two modes. Let's go. Let's launch Leon here. And now launch WhatsApp. WhatsApp is more restrained. Trying its sequence of attacks on Pang Leone, but Pang Leone is very, very solid. In DT, there's no way. Its only problem is that tip, which really has less stamina compared to the old Leon. But between the two, I think the Quad Coach has the advantage. Here, right? Let's see, let's see. Yeah, look, like effect, see? The defense mode of the Quad Coach is better here. It held up more against Leon than in attack mode. Interesting, huh? Interesting. Well, to wrap things up here, I'm going to use Smash Attack mode with our Pegasus against Quetzalcoatl in DP mode. Let's go. Let's launch Quetzalcoatl. A bit more restrained this time. And Pegasus too. Just a bit tilted, right? In Smash mode, I wanted to crush Quetzalcoatl, right? Wow. It's got a beautiful attack. Look, it activated! It activated its crazy mode. Crazy mode, crazy. Crazy mode, crazy. If it stays like this, it'll beat Pegasus. If it keeps dodging and weaving like this, it wins. Fragus is just trying to push it to the edge, right? Man, look at that. It's sharp. Look at this. Beautiful stuff. Victory for the foot. Good job, guys. This was the battle test for Death Quartz, the coach. A really interesting one. Tough, man. I think it's one of the hardest to launch. In my opinion, though, I managed to do it. Some interesting variations. I tweaked the launch a bit, reduced the power and everything to be able to control that tip. Really cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe. See you in the next video. We're in this together.